Hello and welcome to that one show we like to call New Mexico Rising. We are that show from Albuquerque, New Mexico that broadcasts all across the state of New Mexico and beyond. And guess what? We talk to really cool people from all across the country about some of their projects, TV shows, and things, tips, tricks, and all that other good stuff to help our New Mexicans right here in New Mexico. That sounds really redundant, and yeah, you know what? I'm going with it. We're helping We're helping New Mexicans in New Mexico. I'm okay with that. On the show today, we got really cool guests. I'm super excited about it. We will have Chris O'Dowd. You might recognize his face. And a little later, the kids from the new show, Jade. What does that mean? They're trying to save the planet. They're trying to save a whole bunch of animals. And do you know anything about Judy Blume? Okay, you may not. I find a way to kind of say that she's punk rock, and we'll talk about that all right here on New Mexico Rising. All right. So this next show has got me thinking. It made me realize that I'm like a 40-something, I'm sad, I'm depressed, and I'm hosting a TV show that probably nobody's even watching, but I have to realize where I am in this life. The answer is, I still got to figure it out. Hopefully, there's still a bunch of good stuff in store for me. But the new series, The Big Door Prize, got me thinking about my life, and now I'm kind of losing it. So I got two of the stars right here, Chris O'Dowd and John Segarra, and I hope they can help me set my life straight. Come on, guys, why did you do this to me? You gave me an existential crisis, and I'm just trying to figure out what's going on in my life, you two.
I'm fairly sure you had the crisis before we came along, Dan.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, the crisis has always been there. But still, when you guys showed up, you were like, yep, that reaffirmed all my suspicions and my fears about everything with a TV show. And that show is The Big Door Prize, which I think is absolutely fantastic.
Would you sit in the machine, Dan? Would you want to know?
I don't know. That's an excellent question because at this point, yeah, I'm talking from my heart and saying, yeah, I realize that I'm kind of stressed and I'm depressed and yeah, I'm on my second divorce. So come on, man, I got to figure out what's going on.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Not your fault, all their fault.
Yes. Hey, at least I'm trying to be as open and think about it as much as possible so that I can reflect on my own life. Because, yeah, there are good things and bad things that have happened. And kind of like in this universe that you guys have, if there's good things and bad things that happen, some of the characters that are there. And can you talk about that and building this universe?
The Big Door Prize is about a small town called Deerfield. It could be anywhere in the country. You get to know this beautiful cast of characters. Everybody thinks everything's going just smoothly. And then a machine shows up. You sit in this machine. It's kind of like a photo booth or a race car game. And you put your social security number and your fingerprints in. And a little blue card pops out that tells you your true life potential. And you come to find out that it is pretty spot on, this true life potential. And then from there, the big questions arise. Are you fulfilling your potential? Is there more to your life? Are you hoping that this card gives you another path? And I think that's what's fun about the show is that whatever you want to see in that card, I think you end up seeing.
And I agree with you guys. I was fascinated from the beginning of this entire series. It's like billed as a comedy, but it's a little slower and a little sweeter, and it has a lot of heart to it. When you guys were making this, where did you guys pull from and creating real characters and kind of figuring out where you wanted to go with addressing it? I guess like a midlife crisis in its funniest form, I guess.
I had to really delve into people I'd seen in literature to find somebody who's in the middle of their lives and doesn't know what the hell is going on. Couldn't relate to that at all, Dan.
Oh, man. Yep.
I think that he's got a bit of a Jimmy Stewart kind of a vibe at the start of this show, Dusty. He kind of feels like where this happy community that he's kind of built up over the last 25 years of being in it is slightly pulled from under him by the briefest concept of a better life for everybody else. So he feels like everybody else's willingness to change their entire lives overnight means that nobody really meant their lives in the first place. And that's quite disconcerting for him.
And that's what I really enjoyed about it. I don't have a lot of time with you guys, but I really want to thank you guys for presenting that and kind of showing it that way. I guess being part of this project, that really made me think about my own life, which is really strong and wonderful in the way that you guys did. And beyond that, I want everybody out there to definitely check out The Big Door Prize. It's a TV series. It's available on Apple TV Plus. And hey guys, thank you for joining me this morning.
Best of luck with everything, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
No, I'll be fine. It's gonna be fine. I know it. I hope. Thank you guys. So recent data is showing that Americans are kind of struggling with low savings and a lack of ongoing saving habits, leaving them pretty much unprepared for long-term financial success and unexpected emergencies. But fear not! Joining us today is Stephanie O'Connell Rodriguez, who is a personal finance expert and host of Real Simple's Money Confidential podcast. She's here to tell us all these insights and tips so that we can get back on track, all right? Let's do that. Welcome to the show, Stephanie. How are you?
I'm all right. Thanks for having me on.
All right. So, why are Americans having a hard time saving money?
Well, it's no secret that everything has been getting more expensive, and not just the fun, sexy stuff like travel and vacations. We're talking about essentials, food, housing. The most recent inflation numbers have inflation around 5% year over year, and that's honestly the best it's been in a long time. So if you haven't been getting a lot of raises these last couple of years, your money is not going as far as it used to, and that puts a real strain on the budget.
For people who are putting money away, how can they get most out of those savings that they're doing?
Yeah, so when we're talking about saving money, we think, okay, I'm going to set some money aside. But the question is, what do I do next? How do I get the most out of my savings? Some of us might just go to the bank where we have a checking account, open up an account there, go down the street, open up an account there. But the problem is, on average, savings accounts at your traditional brick and mortar banks do not pay a lot of interest. So your money isn't really working for you. And 0.35% is the interest on average that you're seeing in those accounts, which again is not very much. So what you can do is maximize the money that you do save by just switching to a high yield savings account. Typically you find these online. Barclays, for example, has a great online high yield savings account, offers a much higher annual percentage yield than the average. Plus, they're not going to charge you those monthly maintenance fees. They're not going to require a minimum balance, and they have that FDIC insurance protection. So that's a great resource.
And we're about to come out of tax season, or we're coming out of tax season. For people getting a refund, what are some smart places to consider putting those refund dollars?
You have to look past the shiny numbers of the refund money. When you see the money deposited in your account or in the check, it can be really easy to think short term. But I encourage everybody to take a step back and think about what their financial goals are for the next year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. That way we don't get caught up in the cycle of, okay, I'm going to spend this money this month or in the next couple months on a vacation. Maybe I set aside a little bit, but the rest I'm putting toward my debt payoff plan or my savings plan or my investment accounts. So to figure out what the priorities are for you, take that step back and take inventory of your financial life. What are my assets? What do I own? What are my debts? What do I owe? If I really have a lot of debts, maybe I need to make a plan of prioritizing what I'm going to pay off first. So maybe I start with the highest interest rate debt. So I use the tax refund money to pay down that balance as much as possible. So I free up more money long term by not having to pay such high interest rates in the future.
Where can we learn more about this?
The website is banking.barclaysus.com.
Stephanie, thank you for joining me this morning, and hopefully we can get our finances secure and all because of your help. That would be great. So thank you.
Thank you.
And coming up next, we got Chip Wade teaching us some home improvement tips. Plus, a little later, we chat with the kids from the new show, Jane. All right here on New Mexico Rising. All right, now it's the perfect time to refresh, update, and kind of just upgrade our homes. And the perfect person to teach us the way to do so is this man right here. His name is Chip Wade. He's from HGTV, and he knows everything about home updating and upgrading and making our house, a little better. Welcome to the show, Chip Wade. It's really good to talk to you again, my friend.
So good to see y'all. Thanks for having me back.
Do you have any advice to help someone like me to make our homes a little better for this time of year?
I've got a whole bunch of great things. Let's start in the kitchen with a quick win with our drinking water. A lot of people don't realize that your water can actually be fresher, cleaner, and taste better with a simple upgrade, like this one from the Culligan Aquessential Smart RO system. This is the world's most efficient reverse osmosis drinking water system, and it does that by a number of different things. It's packed with innovation, but it's got 7 layers of levels of filtration. It also is certified to remove up to 59 different contaminants. That's really what makes the difference. Now, this has the Culligan Connect app, which easily allows us to keep track of our water quality and our maintenance schedule, but it also is just super easy to install and looks fantastic with these beautiful finishes. You can find out more at Culligan.com. Now, next up, this is really exciting. If you're in the market for the favorite appliance in the kitchen, the refrigerator, look no further than the brand new. This is a Energy Star certified 48-inch, 4 foot wide. That's right, built-in French door refrigerator from Signature Kitchen Suite. This thing looks amazing, but the innovation just goes throughout the entire inner workings of this thing. It is designed just to be super versatile, but to help you prep and store food, in just the best way possible. It has all kinds of features like a convertible drawer that allows you to dial in the customized temperature from -7 degrees all the way up to 41 degrees, just according to what you are storing in there to give optimal freshness and longevity. Now, that also has a craft spherical ice. That's right, a smooth ball of ice, which makes any drink taste way better. So if you're in the market for a new refrigerator and love great ice and long-lasting food, this guy is going to be a showstopper from Signature Kitchen Suite.
The ones with the little ice balls? Those are great. I love those.
Oh, isn't it so cool? Exactly.
All right. So what do you recommend for someone like me that likes to try to get their hands a little dirty or try to be a DIYer?
Well, I've got some great, easy projects. Let's start in wet areas like the bathroom. A groutless tongue and groove wall panel solution called Wet Wall. This is an easy, fast DIY project that allows you to transform wet areas, even the entire bathroom wall, to just a seamless, beautiful look. It's got a patented tongue and groove system, which makes it grout-free, but it also is super easy to clean, incredibly durable. It's antimicrobial. It's awesome stuff. You got to check this out from wetwall.com. All right, next up, another easy project that makes a huge difference is repairing cracks in concrete. Now, historically, we've used, more of like a liquid, runny, slurry solution that just, sinks in cracks and is messy because it gets everywhere and then just kind of shrinks. That's no good, right? It leaves stuff not looking great. Now, DAP has come out with DAP's concrete crack filler that is a powder. This is actually a dry powder that you can just pour right out of the nozzle into cracks up to 1/2 of an inch in one pass. You simply fill up that crack, sweep off the rest with your hand or with a brush, and then it activates with water. It's not going to shrink, it's not going to crack, and it's not going to fade in the test of time, which again just makes the concrete feel like new again. You can find out more at DAP.com. All right, last up, I'm going to give us all an extra valuable tool in our DIY tool belt, and that is access to real experts to help us with our maintenance and repair projects that are a little bit above what we feel comfortable doing. Imagine you download an app and then you have face-to-face access via video chat with an expert live to help you with your projects. Well, it exists, and it's called Front Door. You can get this on the Apple Store, you can get it on Google Play, but imagine that. Whenever you feel like you're in a bind or you just need a little extra help, getting immediate access to an expert live video chat is absolutely awesome. This is real innovation in the category, just gives us that confidence and peace of mind that we can get the job done.
All right, now I get a little bit of help to get me through my failures of DIY projects. That's exactly what I've needed for many, many years. I'm really glad you brought that to us today. Chip, where can we go for more information?
Yeah, I've got all this up for y'all on my personal blog on wadeworkscreative.com. Just click the blog tab and it's right at the top.
Chip, you are a hero to all of us DIYers and people that want to make our houses a little better. So thank you very much, my friend.
Thanks for having me.
You know, kids are redefining the way they play, including wanting permission to play more and increasingly seeking provided safe places to play, where kids see fun, adventure, and an opportunity to explore. Parents can look at all of those dirty surfaces. So here to tell us more ways to say yes to more play is Dr. Tanya Altmann, MD, from the Fellow of American Academy of Pediatrics. Welcome to the show, Tanya.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so why are kids wanting more space and time to play?
So, it's really interesting. There was a large study of over 20,000 primary school children recently conducted, and it showed that since the pandemic, kids are redefining the way they play. So they're looking at their parents for permission to play, they're looking for safe places to play, and I think this is because of this play gap, right? Kids see areas and they want to explore and touch everything and have fun, and parents look at those same areas as you mentioned and say, oh no, don't touch it, it's dirty, you might get germs, you might get sick. And this has all happened since the pandemic. So that's why I teamed up with the Family Guard brand and their new initiative, Yes Play, to help teach families the importance of play and help provide parents with tips and resources to say yes to play and the moments that matter.
So why is it important for kids having their special playtime?
So it's so important for kids to play. It really helps their cognitive development, their physical development, their social emotional development. I mean, they learn so much by exploring and being imaginative and creating and building. And that's something that we really want kids to do every day. Yet parents may need tools to help make that possible and safe for their kids, especially now since the pandemic where illnesses aren't seasonal anymore, right? We're seeing cold, flu, and COVID all year long now. So it's more important than ever to, yes, let your kids play, but also teach them good hand washing skills and make sure that you disinfect all those frequently touched areas regularly.
And for those that are nervous, how often should parents disinfect these play places, spaces, and toys? How often should we do that?
So that's a great question, and it really depends on what's going on in your home. So I have 3 boys in my house. We always have a lot of friends and neighbors over. It's like Grand Central Station. So if somebody's sick, then I'm gonna up my disinfecting, and I might even clean off all those commonly touched surfaces like the doorknobs, the light switches, the countertops. I might disinfect 3 times a day. Yet if we don't have a lot of visitors over and none of my boys are sick, then a few times a week may suffice.
All right. So wax on, wax off, do a little quick spritz and you'll be ready to go. How can making time for play also benefit the parents or caregiver and give us some our own alone time?
Yeah, play is just as important for parents as kids. It just activates those areas of your brain so you can have fun and learn and be creative and stay young. I have a big age gap between my kids, and so I always say that playing with my little one and his friends just helps keep me young. And kids really thrive on the interaction through parents and adults as well as their kids their own age. I mean, that's how they grow and develop as well.
There you go. And I've heard there's been a lot of studies showing that kids have a big stall in development because they didn't have the social interactions that they needed. So playtime is very important for that. So, okay, where can we go for more information about playtime, how to make it safer, how to make it easier, and how to make it work better for our kids?
So FamilyGuardUSA.com has a lot of great tips and resources to help parents say yes to play.
Well, thank you very much, Doctor, for joining me this morning. That's it. Thank you for being part of the show. And go play. You got a lot of toys in front of you. You need to go do your thing.
Yes, I'm ready to go. I like that one.
And coming up next, I make an argument to say Judy Blume might be punk rock. Am I right? Well, I'll ask the documentarians that tell the story of Judy Blume's life. And will they agree with me? We'll find out. Plus, a little later, the kids from the new show, Jane, all right here on New Mexico Rising. All right, I absolutely love documentaries when it has to do with pop culture. I also especially appreciate documentaries when it has to do with punk rock. And nothing is a little more punk rock than the next documentary I'm going to be talking about. And of course, it is Judy Blume with the new documentary Judy Blume Forever. I have the directors Davina Pardo and Leah Wolchok right here with me. And I think a lot of people at home are like, why are you saying Judy Blume's punk rock? And I'm like, this is 50 years in the making of women's sexuality, of women coming out and creating a genre for teens that has spanned across all of this types of literature and podcasts and whatnot. Come on, Judy Blume is awesome. That's all I got to say. Davina, Leah, can you tell me about it? What got you into this?
I mean, absolutely. Judy is totally punk rock. She revolutionized so much about our culture today. This all came about 5 years ago when I was on a road trip with my kids, and I decided to play them an audiobook of one of Judy's earliest books, Tales of a Fourth Grade Nothing. And when I hit play, I discovered that Judy is the narrator of those audiobooks. And she has the most beautiful, effervescent voice, so it filled the car, and it just hit me in such a visceral way. There's this woman behind these characters and these stories that had meant so much to me, and I don't know anything about her. So I started looking into it and said, we have to make a film about Judy Blume. There hasn't been a documentary about Judy Blume. I can't believe it.
So what was something, I know you're going to say you've learned a lot or a ton, but what was something that really surprised you while kind of investigating and learning all about Judy Blume, her accomplishments, and the pop culture backlash that has also come from it, including her books being banned in like the 80s. And now today we just see them as like, oh yeah, those are just Judy Blume books. But it's a huge undertaking of milestones that throughout her career. What did you guys learn and surprise you the most?
I think one of the things that was the most surprising to us was learning how deep her connections were with her readers. I mean, we knew every kid was responding to Judy Blume in this really profound way, but what we didn't realize was that they were writing letters to her, sometimes 1,000 letters a month, and she was writing back. She forged these connections with kids, sometimes spanning decades, and she introduced us to two of the women who, as young girls, reached out to her because they didn't feel like there was anyone else in their life who could understand them. And she supported them, she encouraged them. She was really like their guardian angel, their fairy godmother. And we were so grateful to be able to talk to them and include their voices in the film, Lori and Karen.
For a young author that's interested in writing their own little life story, what do you recommend?
Oh, I mean, I think we have to say what Judy has always said, start from within. Believe in yourself, trust in yourself. Your story needs to be told. Your story deserves to be told. I think that's part of the work that we know Jason Reynolds does as, you know, when he was the ambassador for young people's literature in this country, was go out and encourage young kids to tell their stories because everyone's voice deserves to be heard.
Oh, well, there you go. All right, God, it's me, Dan. If you want to check it out, it is Judy Blume Forever. It's available on Amazon Prime, so definitely check it out right now. Thank you, too, for joining me this morning. And awesome. I'm glad you made this documentary to kind of show and highlight something that I absolutely think that story needs to be told. So thank you, too.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Jane Goodall has changed the world and is inspiring youngins to do the same thing. There's a new series on Apple TV Plus that is kind of making hearts grow for the animals that are kind of disappearing in this world. And today I have two fabulous actors, Ava Louise Murchison and Mason Blumberg, from the new series Jane, which is on Apple TV Plus. They're here with us to talk about their experience with kind of learning about animals and this new show that they have. How you guys doing?
We're doing great. How are you?
Doing fabulous. All right, you two. I've been watching a little bit of your show. It's been fabulous. You guys are teaching me a lot about animals. What did you guys learn while being on the set? I know a lot of these animals are CGI, but like, what are some of the things that you learned about being on the set with these, around these animals, or in making your show?
I learned a lot of scientific names, which is really cool, but I also learned a lot of cool animal facts, like about the bee. When they drink pollen, they have this like almost straw tongue, and they like, I thought that was really cool, and it was one of the first episodes I ever filmed, so that was amazing learning that.
Yeah. And I learned about like more about CGI and how all the islands and stuff like that, like you can see, normally we would just be looking at a tennis ball and a stick. Sometimes if we're unlucky, we would be looking at a wall with nothing there.
And also, I heard rumor that you guys had a sense of adventure by having to jump into a shark cage and go out under the water in the ocean. And this is real. Can you tell me about that? That's amazing.
Well, we started out by getting trained for like a day about all the stuff in scuba diving. And then later we went to Catalina Island, and we got actually in a shark cage in the middle of the ocean, which was super cool. Yeah. Luckily, there was no sharks, though. But there were tons of jellyfish and this cool fish called a mola mola or sunfish. So it was just a really fun experience.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, all right. Well, thank you two for joining me this morning. And actually, I think that you guys are continuing Jane Goodall's work by sharing the stories of these animals. And you're helping people out there and other kids to learn about these animals and maybe think about saving some of these animals that are endangered too. What do you think about doing that?
I think it is
Very
important for kids to learn why saving the planet and animals is good.
It's true. It's very important for all of us to pay attention to what we're doing to our earth and save some of the animals that are in danger. So thank you two for joining me, guys.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
And good luck to you guys. Check out Jane. It's available right now on Apple TV+. Thank you again.
Bye. Thank you for having us.
And that is it for New Mexico Rising. I want to thank each and every one of you who have tuned in right here on the show today. I had some fun guests, and I got some more fun guests coming up next week. If you want to tune into that one, we're here every Sunday at 5:30 in the morning, right before the news. So thank you for tuning in and being part of the show. And yes, today I was messing with you just a little bit. There's an article of clothing when I'm wearing the shirts that kept changing. What was it? You tell me, and the first person that does so, I will give you a family 4-pack of passes to ABQ Golfing Games. That is the unlimited gameplay arcade in Albuquerque, New Mexico. All you gotta do is pay an entry fee. There's no tokens, there's no quarters, there's nothing else, no game cards you have to buy. All you gotta do is pay an entry fee and you get to play unlimited gameplay all day. There's pool, there's ping pong, there's Nintendo and old vintage arcade machines as well. It's kind of awesome. And if you join me on Friday night, you'll probably hang out with me and we can sing some karaoke together. That's ABQ Golfing Games in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So remember, first person that sends me an email, tell me what article of clothing kept changing on today's program, I will give you a family 4-pack of passes so you, 3 other people, or up to 4 people could go to that arcade and just play all day long. So, hey, what article of clothing? Send it to newmexicorising@gmail.com. That email address is newmexicorising@gmail.com. First person that sends it gets it. And that was it for the show. I want to thank all of you for tuning in, hanging out with me each and every week. Until next week, that was New Mexico Rising.